Today we'll be connecting a gas range to the gas supply. So this one had been turned off by PG&E gas company because there was a slight leak. The leak has been corrected, so now we want to reinstall the gas range and connect the gas. So all we're doing here is just sliding it out. Most of these are called slide-ins, so they're not connected really, they're just in there by friction. So I'm going to pull out on the bottom so I have a little bit more leverage and wiggle it out of the cabinet. I'm just taking my time so I don't end up pulling on any gas lines or any cords. And I look in there every now and then to make sure that there's plenty of gas line. Usually when they install these, they use a gas line and a power cord that's long enough to let you get the range all the way out. So once you've got it out, in this case there's a little cap that I have to remove that PG&E put on the end of the compression fitting. So I'm going to use a crescent wrench to spin that off, and please subscribe when you get a chance too, it really helps us. And I'm going to hold the fitting with a pair of channel locks. You could use a wrench, or you could use another crescent wrench to hold it to give you the leverage as you remove this cap. Sometimes the cap will just come right off, but sometimes the fitting below it also moves, so I needed to hold that with the wrench. So I'm just going to spin that off by hand, and then I can connect the gas line. These type of gas lines don't need any kind of Teflon thread tape because they have a compression fitting. All you got to do is just screw it on by hand. I'm going to kind of wiggle it as I do it to make it easier for it to screw on. Get that in there nice and tight, and then I'll go righty-tighty with the crescent wrench to get the fitting in there really good. But I'm also going to hold the brass fitting underneath it with these channel locks. Again, any kind of a wrench would be great to get it super tight. I don't want any kind of leak. And then I can turn this red plastic piece so that it's in line. Go ahead and plug it in too. And that's going to let the gas flow in. See how, using my finger here, I'm just showing you guys how it's lined up. So it has to be in line. I have it all plugged in. You can also spray some soapy water down there, like some Windex, to see if you see any bubbles, and that would indicate there's a leak. But usually with compression fitting, if you just go tight, you're not going to have a leaking problem. So now I'm going to put the range back in. I'm going to carefully get it lined up with the cabinet. I don't want to chip the nice marble or granite. I'm going to use my legs to kind of help me push in, using my knees. Get a little bit at a time, slide it in, and I'm watching to make sure the gas line isn't getting squished as I push it in. So that looks good. So next thing is we want to set the clock because we had it unplugged for a little bit. So I'll press the clock button and I'll just type in the current time. And then I press either the start button or the clock button, and that'll log in the time. 2:22. Okay, got it. And then we're going to test it out. When you first turn it on, you'll hear a lot of clicking, but you probably won't have it light because a lot of the gas has to flow for a little bit before it lights. So give it a good maybe 10 to 15 seconds. There we go, then it lights up. And I'll test all the other burners in the same way, and then I'll test the oven also to make sure there's good gas flow. So again, be patient because the gas has to flow through the different lines to get to the burner heads.